message from the creator of Norm Therapy and our co-founder, Michael Gibson.
Welcome everyone to our Norm Therapy Intake Specialist Candidate Recognition Ceremony. Hello, my name is Michael Gibson. I am the creator of Norm Therapy and the co-founder of Abuse Refuge Org. We welcome you here today to bear witness to the recognition of our NTIS candidates, advancement to Norm Therapy Intake Specialist qualified status. Our qualified candidates have just completed 10 weeks of our basic course and 2 additional weeks of our MOT training. That's methods of teaching and training. We are very proud of your NTIS qualified completion. Many of you embarked upon this journey unsure of yourself and even questioning your own ability and desire to even be here in the first place. But you made the right choice and persevered. But you're not done yet, as upon receipt of your recognition documents, you will have officially started your probationary period. Congratulations, everyone, and in about 90 days, if you successfully complete your probationary period, you will be awarded and will have earned the title of Norm Therapist. So far, we have mapped out 3 career pathing areas for now, and we are developing additional paths for our Norm Therapists. Of course, the first is being a Norm Therapist dealing with victims and survivors. Secondly, a corporate liaison dealing with providing services and training to corporations and institutions around the world. And lastly, and this could be very interesting to some of our more senior and seasoned Norm Therapists, having your own Norm Therapy practice. Our mission is to entrepreneurialize a Norm Therapy leader who wants to pursue their own practice. During just about every quarter of any year, the Norm Therapy management puts on a career day. Make sure you speak with our management team or any of our Norm Therapists for more information. I appreciate all of you coming out here today, and I wish great success and opportunity for this recognition cohort. Thank you.
And we continue with a message from our Global Executive Director and co-founder, Kelly Dean.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kelly Dean, and I'm the Global Executive Director and co-founder of Abuse Refuge Org, or affectionately known as ARROW. I welcome you, and I am so excited to celebrate with you for our course recognition ceremony. Over the course of the last couple months, our NTIS candidates have gone through quite the process to get here today. And I was actually the first person to ever go through Norm Therapy with Michael Gibson, the co-founder of Norm Therapy, and he is our global managing director and co-founder of ARROW. I have been through a lot to get here today, and it all started when Michael started asking me some really difficult questions about my life. Up until that point, I can tell you that I had tried everything from 10 years of counseling, self-help books, podcasts, everything, you name it, I tried it. And it wasn't until Michael put me through Norm Therapy, which I didn't actually know it at the time, and my life changed in more ways than I can even begin to articulate. But I just want to say that I am so grateful that you're here today. I hope that you are able to learn more about the process of what our candidates go through. For those of you who are guests on our recognition ceremony today, and we just hope that you find this time together fulfilling, beneficial, and we are here to celebrate our NTIS candidates. Congratulations, everyone, and we look forward to all that you accomplish here today and in the future. Thank you.
Again, hello everyone, and welcome to Abuse Refuge Org's, affectionately known as ARROW. course recognition ceremony for the 8th cohort of Norm Therapy Intake Specialist Qualifiers, class of March 2023. I am Kim Carpenter, and I am your host today for the Norm Therapy Intake Specialist Course Recognition Ceremony. My experience at Arrow has been both rewarding and productive in playing an integral role within Norm Therapy leadership as one of the pioneers and the Norm Therapy manager. Norm Therapy is an innovative abuse management interviewing process, whereby Norm therapists will interview an eclectic array of victims or survivors from around the world, further examine their life narratives, and assist the victim or survivor in discerning the veracity or the hyperbole surrounding their own experiences and chronology of their pathology. This is no easy task. Not only have we developed Norm Therapy for North America, moreover, we are developing Norm Therapy for different regions of the world, as well as for several outreach programs to include the disability community, children and families, and other specialized programs across numerous platforms. Today, we are joined by a very special guest, Manuel Pagan, and now the creator of Norm Therapy, Michael Gibson, will introduce our keynote speaker.
Hello, everyone. Michael Gibson, and I would like to introduce everyone here to one of my closest friends and allies. Manuel and I have known one another for decades. He's a Rear Admiral with the Secretary and the Secretary General of the Mixed Martial Artists Association and the Pan American Association as well. He's a close-in executive protection specialist, instructor, world traveler, and my dearest friend. I've known Manuel for quite a while and we worked in various capacities together. He has seen abuse worldwide, up front and close. He understands and supports our mission with great focus and understanding. Having Manuel as our keynote speaker brings great credit upon our organization, of course, and the abuse care community. I would also like to tell you that he spent many years in the Dominican Navy as a Rear Admiral. He's one of the top black belts in the world in Taekwondo, Karate, and Bushido. He has been in rescue operations and other close-in protective operations all over the world. And he's one of the most respected protector of human rights on the planet. I'd like everyone to give a nice round of applause to Manuel Pagan.
Thank you, Michael. Michael, as he said, has been a friend for a long time. I could consider him one of my best friends. He's a top-notch ex-Special Forces, and in this commonality, we met. And also, he is a devoted martial arts expert. So we have a lot of things in common. I'm more an action person than a speaker, but let's speak a little bit. Abuse and fear. Let's talk about abuse. To mention some types of abuse: physical abuse, domestic violence or abuse, child abuse, sexual abuse, psychological or emotional abuse, financial or material abuse, modern slavery, discriminatory abuse, organizational or institutional abuse, neglect or acts of omission, self-neglect, and so on. Sadly, the most prevalent abuse is against women in general. In the World Health Organization study published in 2021, estimates of global and regional prevalence of intimate partner violence and non-partner violence, sexual violence against women, account for 30% of women have experienced intimate partner violence or non-partner sexual violence. Most of this violence is intimate partner violence. Worldwide, almost 1/3 of women ages 15 to 49 years who have been in a relationship report that they have been subject to some form of physical or sexual violence by their intimate partner. Not to mention trafficking for sexual purposes, slavery, and many other forms of discrimination towards women on all continents. Let's speak about fear. For more than 40 years of working as an officer in the Dominican Navy and also training in martial arts, as already Michael mentioned, Japanese karate, taekwondo, jujutsu. Jujutsu is the Japanese art. Jiu-jitsu would be the modified Brazilian art. And ultimately, in mixed martial arts. Because of this, and in the process, I have unconsciously been practicing constantly to control fear and to use the adrenaline and rush that this fear produces in our bodies in order to be stronger, to react faster, to hit harder, and to see what's coming ahead of time and act upon it accordingly, but never to render myself to the poisonous reaction of fear itself. So I understand what fear is, but I react to it in a very different way as most people do. During the past decade, I've been working as an executive protection specialist, first with the Navy, composed of teams protecting superior and general officers and their immediate families, and later in the settings of the private enterprise, protecting what we call very important people, VIPs and their families. Although to me, all people are very important. One of the things that I learned is that fear can make you behave in a very different way from how you would behave in your normal self and under normal circumstances. So a friendly, polite, and very collected person, be it a CEO or an executive, that is being guarded by our protection detail that we are escorting to work one day under certain stressful and dangerous situation where this person fears for his life. Be it that he is under sudden gun or knife attack, or that he just heard shots being fired, and we intend to evacuate him from this premises to safeguard him. Fear can make him become a very different person, an uncontrollable person, a person who panics and runs away, acting as a hysterical individual, incapable of evaluating the situation that he has with him, and unable to control himself and work with us to protect him. As Michael Gibson said about abuse, abuse happens directly and overwhelmingly because of fear. Nelson Mandela put it this way: I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. I congratulate Michael Gibson and all his colleagues for their arduous nonprofit work in norm therapy and abuse refuge org, ARROW, as they call it, that has given hope and understanding to so many of these victims and survivors of abuse, helping them find normalcy and a way to survive amidst the trauma suffered, and helping them to overcome fear and to cope and acquire balance and clarity on this path with the help of norm therapy. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Manuel, for joining us today. If everyone could please take a moment to unmute and show your appreciation via a round of applause.
Thank you, Manuel.
Please resume mute. We will now continue with the remainder of our schedule of events, which includes an overview and background about the program. We will hear from the creator of Norm Therapy and co-founder of ARROW, Michael Gibson, who will be sharing a powerful message, and from another integral member of Norm Therapy Management, Nicole Leonard, as well as hear from the Norm Therapy interviewees in providing their testimonies. Then on to the best part, the celebration of those who have completed their NTIS training course. And before we end our time together, we will hear from other members of Norm Therapy, and we will also be giving anyone who is interested in learning more about our program an opportunity to stick around for some Q&A. As a SHRM certified HR professional with over 25 years experience in human relations, and in being a survivor of financial, sexual, child, narcissistic, psychological, bullying, workplace, and spousal abuses, I greatly understand the correlation of Arrow's mission to train a cadre of intake specialists who would be the vanguard within the abuse care community and serve as process interviewers for victims or survivors of abuse. While many of us may not be licensed counselors, therapists, or doctors, being a certified norm therapist does grant us a unique opportunity to work one-on-one with the victims or survivors of abuse when they are in need of someone specialized to call out their lies, to effectively help them discern their critical life circumstances at a time when they are struggling to find those deeper connections to their normal. Norm therapy is more personalized than traditional therapies, whereby the norm therapists are able to self-disclose to the victims or survivors our experiences and life knowledge, and further connect to what the victim or survivor has been through. Not all interviews will possess every element of this structure. However, the norm therapy platform gives the most comprehensive approach towards the victim or survivor in finding clarity, providing assessment, and arriving at the truth. A great deal of hard work, sacrifice, and experiential knowledge has gone into norm therapy. Michael Gibson, the creator of Norm Therapy and Arrow's co-founder and managing director, has spent over 26 years developing this concept. He found himself in a myriad of situations around the world where people would consistently seek his wisdom or advice. Can you think of a friend who you always reach out to talk with? Michael Gibson was literally that friend on an exponential basis to many. What Michael Gibson believes is simple. Most people who suffer from abuse have somehow conditioned themselves to endure the abuse over time. We oftentimes give the example that if a man were to go home from work, greet his wife, and then slap her face, and her reaction to having been slapped, if she does nothing about it, will become normalized, and after a year or even a few months of arriving home, slapping his wife would then become a normalized behavior and acceptance of that behavior. Perhaps then in the future, the wife would simply put her cheek out for her husband to slap, thinking that maybe he had forgotten that day. On this premise, norm therapy was born, that if somehow a victim or survivor is convinced through trauma, psychological or physical, and the victim or survivor has normalized the pain and destruction, Michael saw an opportunity to help people find clarity about their abuses. He firmly believes that people plot their own destinies through a series of decisions, and the more decisions you make, the better you will become at making decisions. He also believes that people will only ever do to you what you allow them to do, or what they think they can get away with. The job of the norm therapist is first and foremost to find clarity in a victim or survivor's chronology of their pathologies. We are not here to cure anyone. However, we are here to help the victim or survivor find the truth. Kelly Dean, the Global Executive Director and co-founder of Arrow, was actually the very first person to have successfully gone through norm therapy. She may not be perfect, but Kelly is a far cry from where she used to be and realizes that norm therapy probably saved her life. In many walks of life, a wide swath of the global population experience abuse every single day, from one kind to another. Kelly experienced at least 18 different abuses, both chronic and acute, over the course of her life to include narcissism, sexual, physical, psychological, financial, child, self, cyberbullying, bullying, spousal, isolation, workplace, religious, medical, food, authority, educational, and political abuse. It was quite debilitating for her as she journeyed throughout her pain. The entire Arrow organization was envisioned and created based on Kelly's abuses endured, and this is only the beginning. In the future, Arrow will be adding alcohol, substance, institutional, and prison abuses upon receiving certifications for the appropriate abuse care licensures. I would now like to turn the microphone over to the creator of Norm Therapy, co-founder and managing director of Arrow, Michael Gibson.
Again, everyone, welcome. I would like to again thank you all for being here today. I am Michael Gibson. I am the creator of Norm Therapy, the co-founder of Arrow, and the CEO of MGA Enterprises. For the past 26 years or more, I have been developing a series of techniques and important protocols that I've randomly and strategically applied while getting to know and experiencing life with many people from around the world. What I found most often while using these techniques was that people everywhere want to share as much as they possibly can without exception, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I started to ponder and relate back on my impactful life in the military, and then combine those lessons derived with a rigorous investigative study, as well as an observation regime, voraciously covering as many philosophies, religions, theta teachings, books on psychology and history, as well as having pursued quite a plethora of existentialism-related topics and materials, and more importantly, interviewing countless thousands of people. After having spent many years, literally decades, discerning a myriad of subjects, what I came to learn was that we all pretty much are the same. For the most part, our major differences were religion, culture, race, and language. However, and essentially, we all believe in justice. We all believe in hope. We all believe in survival. We all believe in giving up. We all believe in hatred. We all believe in lying. We all believe in truth. We all believe in laughter. We all believe in tears. We understand money the same. We all understand its losses as well, and that understanding is deep. We all accept the premise of business and commerce, just as we all understand charity and giving. We all believe in kindness. However, we know that vengeance lives in the dark. We all believe in sacrifices, and more often than not, we are selfish. We all believe in education, while some people wallow in conspiracy and stupidity. We all believe in letting some live, and we all believe in letting others die. We all believe we are smarter than the next person, while at the same time believing that we are inferior to some. We all believe in family, as we always, and sometimes even, turn our backs, as we often ostracize our families. I could probably go on for quite some time with these incongruencies and congruences, but I like to take the opportunity to share what I believe is the most important understanding I've learned over the past quarter century or more, and that's love. We all desperately believe in love. Everything from birth until death is based on our acceptance, application, or denial of love. Everything I just mentioned is only a varying degree of love, of the love-hate paradigm. What influences our love, or the denial thereof, is our courage, our lust, fear, anger, bravery, and acceptance. Norm Therapy takes a deep dive into discerning your fear and your lust, your anger, bravery, acceptance, and much more. I always tell people that confrontation is good and an argument is not. When you confront someone, it should be truthful, and it should be a bit uncomfortable and even painful. This is not to say that you are there to get your feelings hurt or to hurt others. It's more to say that you are willing to speak the unspeakable as well as the obvious or the occult without losing perspective or objectivity. Unlike when we find ourselves in an argument, different from a confrontation, it's always about me, I, or mine, mine, mine. Whenever you are fighting for something for yourself, you are giving up your right to be objective. The only two things you should ever defend or fight for in life are your honor or the safety of yourself or others. Anything else just isn't worth it. When you find yourself in a confrontation, you are usually looking for some sort of détente or compromise. Not everyone can win all the time, so you should make losing a part of your existence as well. Accepting loss and moving on is the idea. Norm therapy brings a sense of balance and clarity. We then take that balance and further clarify it, assess it, and then we bring helping doses to victims and survivors and helping them find their truth within their hyperbole. These are the hallmark tenets of norm therapy: clarity, assessment, and truth. Ours not to provide anyone what we believe as our normal for them. No, not at all. Rather, ours is to uncover, and oftentimes during a lifetime of conditioning and hyperbole and subterfuge that time and time again has convinced many to either destroy themselves or to allow themselves to be destroyed by someone else. People are conditioned to become cowards, inept, slow-minded, unwitting, intimidated, derailed, lost, and most tragically, ours is not to provide anyone with what we believe to be our normal for them. No, far from it. Rather, ours is to uncover and oftentimes look for a lifetime of conditioning and hyperbole and subterfuge that our victims and survivors have convinced themselves over many years to destroy either themselves or to allow themselves to be destroyed by others. People are conditioned to become cowards, inept, slow-minded, unwitting, intimidated, derailed, lost, and most tragically useless. People normally make these unwilling choices out of fear and pain. The one phrase I hear most often about norm therapy is that it changes someone's life and almost always for the better so far. I would say that norm therapy is a veritable solution to most of our abuse-related problems. People having the lack of courage to stand up to bullies, the lack of vision to find a purpose, the absence of confidence to matter, the lack of will to truly live, and the simple propensity to accept merely existing. At Norm Therapy, we tackle these obstacles one by one or sometimes all at once over a series of interviews. We make it a good fight to protect and strengthen your countenance and we battle for your very existence. Thank you for all being a meaningful inclusion to our Norm Therapy family. Again, congratulations to our March 2023 cohort of Norm Therapy qualified candidates and probationary graduates. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
That's great.
That was definitely a mic drop.
Yes. Thank you, Michael. It's my pleasure to introduce another member of the Norm Therapy Management Team, Nicole Leonard. She is a Norm Therapist, Level 6A, and the Senior HR Supervisor within Norm Therapy, while also volunteering within Arrow as the HR Hiring Manager. Nicole, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you, Kim. Over these last 8 cohorts, I've had the opportunity to experience Norm Therapy in a much more hands-on capacity, from being an NTI to an NTIS, and now as part of the Norm Therapy Management Team. Throughout each of these experiences, I've seen firsthand how Norm Therapy pushes you to your limits, whether you're an interviewee or a Norm Therapist. It makes you look at situations differently and pay more attention to what is behind the words that a person is saying. It brings to light a new way of communicating with one another. Everyone has their own story and own struggles in life that they have to overcome or are working to overcome. Norm Therapy helps to identify the root of these struggles and hold a new appreciation for the depths of humanity. Watching this cohort learn and grow over these past few months has been an inspiring experience. Each candidate has made incredible progress, both personally and professionally, and they all show immense potential as future Norm therapists. I'm honored to have witnessed their journey and can't wait to see what amazing work they do next. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. And now let's hear testimonies from our Norm Therapy interviewees and Arrow volunteers who participated in the March NTIS Cohort Training Program. We have Michelle joining us today. Michelle, would you please say a few words about your experience with Norm Therapy?
Thank you, Kim. I would love to. I participated as a norm therapy interviewee for the last 3 sessions of this cohort with NTIS candidate Caitlin Hunter. It was a great experience that gave me the opportunity to look further into some of my weaknesses and struggles in confidence. It was great to have a supportive NTIS candidate to encourage me to face some of my fears and overcome insecurities. I am very thankful for this experience, and I only wish I could have participated in more sessions. From graduating with the December cohort to participating as the interviewee for this cohort, it has given me a deeper understanding and clarity of how we can all benefit from norm therapy. It has strengthened my belief in the necessity of this service. Going forward, I have a greater sense of pride and awareness of how my beliefs about myself can shape my reality. Thank you so much to Caitlin, Kim, Kelly, Michael, and Arrow for what you provide. It was a privilege to be a piece of this healing space that has a significant impact on so many lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
My experience with norm therapy was phenomenal. My NTIS candidate was so helpful and supportive. She asked the hard questions that really got me thinking and made me question a lot about myself and about my relationships. She also was very positive and optimistic, which helped me stay optimistic. The aha moments that I experienced were learning more about how I relate to others in my life and learning what steps I can take to improve my relationships with myself and those I value. The new perspective I have is that I view myself differently and some of the other people in my life with a new perspective. I have norm therapy to thank for the many changes that will come about in my life because of this program. If it weren't for norm therapy, some of the things in my life that have been negative would have resumed that way. I am excited to have this newfound knowledge and understanding.
Thank you, Elise. Let's watch Khadijah's video about her NTI experience.
Hello everyone. Although I only attended a few sessions, my attendance as a norm therapy interviewee was a very valuable experience for me. At first, I wasn't comfortable sharing personal information as I'm not used to talking about myself in general. But thanks to helpful norm therapy methods and my NTIS candidate Melissa Rosado, after each question I felt more comfortable and willing to share everything. There have been some memories that keep coming to my mind from my childhood. Sharing these memories and having a new perspective on them has freed me from some negative thoughts. I want to thank everyone who has been working hard for the program and congratulate the new norm therapy intake special qualifiers.
Thank you, Khadijah. And thank you to each of our NTIs, Michelle, Desney, Elise, and Khadijah, for being an integral part of the Norm Therapy Training Program. Kelly, will you take a moment? I see your parents are in attendance.
Yes, thank you, Kim. I would like to take this opportunity to give a heartfelt welcome to my parents, Bob and Janie Dean, who are with us this evening. Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you, Kelly. And now it's time for the main event. Here are the class of March 2023 NTIS qualifiers in recognition of their completion of the NTIS training program. If you would kindly stay muted until the end of all presented announcements for applause, it would be appreciated. Our first NTIS qualifier is Asher Reed. Asher, would you like to say a few words about your experience as a norm therapy intake specialist candidate?
Yes, thank you, Kim. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to discover that no one could be helped if they don't want or aren't ready for help. And it's not easy asking uncomfortable questions or making time for something so emotionally taxing. But it's not hard. It instead requires commitment, work, and dedication to betterment of yourself and helping others. You have to want change to take anything away from this as both an interviewer and an interviewee. Norm therapy is a new method and means of change and for betterment of those wanting to heal from their traumas. You have to learn what your norm is, identify what that is, and improve your norm to then utilize the same techniques towards others. I'd like to thank my boyfriend and my Aero family for being so loving, supporting, and understanding as I venture to help better myself and others. Thank you.
Thank you, Asher. Our next NTIS qualifier is Melissa Rosado. Melissa, please share a few words as a norm therapy intake specialist candidate.
Thank you, Kim. Hello, my name is Melissa Rosado. I came across the NTIS program while I was searching for a different type of volunteer position. I've always been interested in counseling, but never pursued it. Instead, I studied accounting. I came across Aero while searching for a volunteer position. Originally, I had signed up to be an assistant editor. During my interview with Kim, Kelly, and Michael, they told me about this wonderful opportunity, and I decided to go for it. As I went through the program, I was a bit skeptical. However, as the program progressed, I realized the invaluable experience that I was receiving. The NTIS program encouraged me to switch careers. I am now seeking a career in counseling, and I'm thinking of returning to school. The NTIS program was just the thing that enabled me to shift my mindset. Going through the NTIS Candidate Training Program and applying the skills I have been learning, I have become more open in my personal relationships. I am excited about my future with Aero. I also give thanks to my friends and family that have supported me in this journey.
Thank you, Melissa. Our next NTIS qualifier is Andrea Wise. Andrea was selected to be awarded Best Interviewer of her cohort. A Best Interviewer is an NTIS candidate who embodies being exemplary in performance, planning, and applying norm therapy interviewing techniques effectively, including contemporary note-taking, maintaining assertive control of the sessions at all times, effectively communicating, functioning well under pressure, and displaying both empathy and apathy in such a way that is impactful for the interviewee to identify their abusive circumstances and to chronicle their pathology. Best Interviewer is voted on by qualified and certified norm therapy personnel, including norm therapy management. Andrea openly admitted to being afraid of public speaking due to a speech impediment, but that did not stop her from utilizing the interview techniques when meeting with her NTI. She is compassionate and easily built rapport with the NTI while maintaining control of each session in an effort to effectively guide the NTI closer to having more clarity about their situation. Andrea was open to receiving feedback and always applied it to herself in a way that promoted higher learning within herself to obtain the necessary results within the interview sessions. All things we do in life require a process, and when Andrea started the course, it was clear she had no process whatsoever. However, she purported that she helped a lot of people. She has now developed a process through norm therapy and has applied that process towards victims and survivors and ultimately generated verifiable and productive results. Congratulations, Andrea, on your special recognition. Would you like to share about your experience as an NTIS candidate?
Thank you all so much. That's really sweet. Yes. So it has been a great privilege and honor to have been given this opportunity in this training as an NTIS candidate. For example, I learned about establishing a baseline with the victim or survivor and trying to determine whether there might be deception. Now I see things differently when I deal with situations in my life. I listen more and pay more closer attention to better solve issues by utilizing the resources given to me throughout this course. One day a situation popped up, and although I was angry, I remember to think before responding. Instead, I asked the person to clarify statements' meaning. Once he explained, I realized I was about to overreact because of miscommunication. Finally, I want to give thanks to all those that made this happen. Nicole, thank you for giving me the invite/interview and for giving me the green light to proceed. Thanks to Mr. Michael, Miss Kim, Miss Kelly, Miss Kennedy for teaching me, guiding me, and answering questions when I was stuck or needed help. Thank you for being patient and kind to me while you open up my mind on this journey. I would also like to thank my daughter because she's awesome, and my grandson for sticking with me in this process. I have received a lot of wonderful support all around. During the course, when I didn't always have the time to get certain things done, like cooking or shopping, my loved ones picked up my slack. I wish the best for my family who have helped and encouraged me to keep going, even while tired, and always telling me, you can do this. Thank you all.
Thank you, Andrea. Our final NTIS qualifier will be presented by the November 22 honor graduate, Kendra Kirkshank, NTIS Level 3 certified.
Thank you, Kim. For the March 2023 cohort of Norm Therapy intake qualifiers, a special recognition has been given to Caitlin Hunter as honor graduate. An honor graduate is an NTIS candidate who embodies being exemplary in performance, capturing the information instructed, possessing the level of acumen to quickly discern areas indicative of the abuse care community during the course, and applying that which they have learned. The important areas being honor, integrity, and foresight of their own inclusion within the industry mindset. Honor graduate is voted on by qualified and certified norm therapy personnel, including norm therapy management. Caitlin consistently maintained a professional demeanor and is highly focused on bettering herself while in pursuit of a master's in psychology, and she has applied the same level of focus with the NTIS training program. She communicated her needs effectively within class and followed through on her commitments even when she seemed overwhelmed, but kept persevering through. She actually participated in class and consistently answered questions, even if her answers were incorrect, in a way that promoted continued learning and from other perspectives. Caitlin understood the impact of what she was actually trying to accomplish during module learning and within the practical application role play. She has tremendous growth over the last 8 weeks, and she will be an outstanding norm therapist in the future. For these and for many other reasons, I am honored to be able to present the Honor Graduate Award to Caitlin for her dedication to the NTIS training program and to the ultimate mission here at Norm Therapy, which is to help victims and survivors of abuse uncover their truth. Caitlin, please accept this recognition and say a few words.
Absolutely. I can't thank y'all enough. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. During my time participating in norm therapy, I've grown so much personally and professionally. The experiences of self-reflection allowed me to better understand myself, which in turn allowed me to better understand others. I will use these skills I have developed with norm therapy for the rest of my life, with myself and with my relationships. Training as an NTIS candidate was both educational and therapeutic. I learned so much about how others are affected by trauma and the ways to effectively help them find clarity. Although there were moments when the experience seemed overwhelming, I had an amazing team to support me the whole way. I can't express how thankful I am for the knowledge and growth norm therapy and training as an NTIS candidate has given me. I'm so grateful to all the support from my family, friends, roommates, and everyone at Arrow. Thank you all again so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin. How about a heartfelt applause for all the NTIS qualified for their course completion and recognition this March 2023. Please unmute and show your support. Thank you. Please resume to mute. We will now hear from some of our more experienced norm therapy intake specialists who completed the NTIS training program in the May, November, and December 2022 Trailblazer cohorts. They have been an integral part of the continued growth and development of the future of norm therapy and the NTIS training program. First, we have Jenna Eady, NTIS Level 4 Norm Therapist. Jenna, would you like to share a few words about your experience?
Yes, thank you, Kim. Being a part of norm therapy has been a life-changing experience. The things that I have learned here and the skills I have developed both personally and professionally have greatly improved my life, both in those aspects, professionally and personally. Norm therapy has been a blessing in so many different areas of my life, from giving me an opportunity to give back to people, learning how I can help victims and survivors of abuse, and helping me grow as a better person in general. Instructing the candidates for this cohort has been an amazing opportunity in itself. Watching them go through this training program and develop their skills in norm therapy has been such a joy. I am so proud of all the candidates and wish them all the best in both norm therapy and in their future endeavors. I now turn the mic over to Kendra, NTIS Level 3 certified. Kendra, would you like to share about your experience?
Thank you, Jenna. Being able to continue developing within norm therapy, even after becoming NTIS certified, has been an invigorating eye-opener. Having the ability to assist with training the new and incoming norm therapy cohorts has allowed me to continue to grow as an NTIS, an individual, and as a VS. I have had the opportunity to watch the NTIS candidates come out of their shells and develop the necessary skills to not only help others, but themselves. It has been a pleasure working in norm therapy, and I cannot wait to see what's to come. Last but certainly not least, we will be hearing from Tashfia Tabasum, NTIS Level 3 qualified. Tashfia, please share a few words about your experience.
Thank you, Kendra. Over the last couple of months, I had the opportunity to experience more hands-on activities at ARO, which helped me grow my skill sets as a certified norm therapy intake specialist. ARO helps you every step of the way, even after the course completion. I remember being very nervous to take on tasks after I graduated from the course, but ARO guides you with everything that you need to become a norm therapist. The support system that ARO provides since day one alone helps you continue your journey after completing the course, so there is no reason to be nervous like I was. I want to congratulate all the graduates for completing the NTIS training program. It has been an incredible journey and big milestone to celebrate upon completion of the course. Watching this cohort learn and grow over a couple of months has been a wonderful experience. Each candidate has shown incredible personal and professional progress, and I cannot wait to see what else they do next. Thank you. I will now hand the floor back over to Kim, the Norm Therapy Manager and today's MC.
Thank you, Jenna, Kendra, and Tashfia. An immense thank you to Michael Gibson, who made all this possible, and Kelly Dean, and our guest speaker this evening, Manuel Pagan. To our pioneers for your continued passion in the success of norm therapy and the vision of where we can go in the future, along with all the preparations in making this event possible. Accolades to Nicole Leonard for assistance with the audio-visual presentation. And thank you to our norm therapy intake specialists and norm therapists for your dedication and commitment to the mission of ARO. Thanks to all of the norm therapy interviewees for your participation in our 8th cohort program. We couldn't have done it without all of you. And thank you to our 2022 graduates who served in multiple norm therapy capacities, as well as being mentors for the March 23 candidates and now qualifiers. Thank you to our guests in attendance, as we hope you have enjoyed this ceremony. And I want to share with everyone what a privilege and honor it was for me to have hosted the course recognition ceremony for the 5th time. If you are interested in learning more about norm therapy or abuse refuge org, please check out our website at goaro.org and encourage volunteers, victims or survivors, professional clinicians, doctors, therapists, and social workers to do the same. Most importantly, don't forget to make a donation by clicking the donate button at the top of the main page of our website. This concludes the official course recognition ceremony.